フルカウンター
Alright boys, welcome back to the Grind Cross video, and as you can see from the thumbnail title and what's on screen right now, we do have a new Elaine coming to the game. Honestly, it's annoying because from the looks of it, it might be a Valentine's unit. Kinda, I don't know, but the Winged Elaine, the Christmas one, was a limited character, which is kind of annoying because I want her. And hopefully this one's as good, or good, because the red one wasn't good, it was King Support. Which, to be fair, I wouldn't mind this one being King Support for Festival King. But we'll see, we don't know what she does just yet. And I just scrolling past, I've not got it through just yet. There looks like to be Suit 2 Sacred Treasure, we'll translate down a second. And then I believe that is kind of it. Update towards, okay, improve. I doubt that's the thing we wanted, so yeah, I'm not too sure about that one. And then we don't really care about that. There is Elaine. Outfit don't look too crazy though. Kind of looks similar to what we have right now already. But I think hopefully we get one free multi, which we'll take that, I guess. Oh, we're getting it, boys. We're getting a faction war. That is kind of sick, I think. So they kind of went over this a little bit. I mean, we can't see it until they translate it properly, but from the I think the idea of it is you pick a side like right here, so you pick either darkness or light, and then I think you farm a bunch of PvE quests, and then whoever like has the highest points at the end of the war gets a bunch of free rewards, I assume. And I think they're not gonna say it just yet, but I like the idea of like just having a faction war. If you've ever played For Honor, which was a kind of an old game at this point, it was kind of fun to play that faction war, so we will take that. And I believe that is kind of it for just the relevant stuff at the bottom. Have they added Saria to the draw yet? Alright, so no, I don't think so. They haven't added Saria. I expect her to join the free SR ticket after Deanne does leave. But let's just see what this new character does. Alright, let's just check the ultimate. We've seen it before, but this Elaine's so rare. I think it's still the same ultimate. So what is it, like release? So I'm assuming she's still gonna have some sort of debuff because you still want to have poison and whatever release does. But the artwork's kind of nice, you know. Alright, so this is the character. So it's the same ultimate, which is released, which means it does shock, poison, bleed. But I don't think the character does just from glancing at the character. So that ultimate is not going to be too great. But the skills might be. So let's break it down. We'll go over the passive in a second. But the first skill is what? Just deal damage 250%, which disables buffs and debuff skill for 2 turns. I think if it's a tier 2, it will be maybe buff and debuff for 1 turn, and a tier 1 we haven't seen it. It could be literally just damage, which will be a kind of a bad thing, but on a tier 1 it could also just be disable buff or debuff skill. So we have to wait and see, but overall that is not the greatest skill, because once again it doesn't go with the actual passive or her ultimate, which is, you know, release shock and damage, which is to release, obviously, shock, poison, and bleed, which she doesn't do. The second skill, though, could be somewhat decent. So there is better translation, I'll read it off right now. Is increase all HP-related stats for all allies by 50%, and when receiving damage, recover 40% of the damage received. I think that's what... Isn't that Athena's relic? So if the enemy is here and takes more than 30% of max HP in damage, recover 4% of the damage taken. Kinda, it's similar, and this actually ain't a bad passive because she can tank a lot of stuff, especially in PvE content. Like I think in Final Boss Escanor, back in, not the Legend one, the other one, she was tanking a lot. Like the Escanor couldn't one-shot her, and then boom, she couldn't die, and then boom, she full healed. So that could be somewhat good to have that as an actual busker for 3 turns, I think it is, and also just for everyone. So that is not too bad. Alright, so Elaine's passive is, I believe how it works is similar to how we have Red Arthur with his relic. At the start of the turn, you apply a little decrease defense, where this one is applying a new little debuff, which is called Petal Effect. And basically, the Petal Effect, when it is applied, fairies deal an extra 30% more damage, so that is more damage for King. That's kind of scary, especially with Hellbrim. Kind of shocking, not gonna lie. And then, that was not implied, by the way, but when you do attack with an actual fairy, you do apply shock. So that is it's gonna get her ultimate to work, and her ultimate is this right here, which is release. So you're gonna get 100% of the release damage, but just an overall buff. It's still not the best, because that means, you know, the one gets debuff minion turn 3, so you're still not gonna get that. But overall, that is a pretty good thing. PvE content, I don't see it working, not gonna lie, because obviously a lot of bosses don't allow you to debuff them, so this is definitely a PvE unit, and to be fair, it looks decent, so overall, this is pretty good, and we do have some new relics, let's jump into those, because it kind of makes it a little better, but overall, not too bad. Yeah, so Shining Feather Elaine will not be added to permanent duel, so she is a seasonal character, which is frustrating, man, because we're complaining about seasonals, and we get another one right now. She has no right to be a seasonal, man, it's weird, but the banner is, I assume, just all rare characters. It's, oh, Christmas Leah, so that's a good thing. I think that's red. Downfall. No, it's the green. what's the new one? It's the red Danafall, right, Liz? So that is a red unit. The other Elaine, well, I guess, yeah, the other Elaine, this is the Christmas one. Then it is Summer Merlin, blue Ozenhawk, red Ozenhawk. Then you have Leah, I think it's the green one or blue one. I'm not too sure. But yeah, other than the bottom one, which to be fair are seasonal but very old now, this is not the greatest banner. To be fair, a big skip. I doubt it. I don't think anyone's, to be fair, looking forward to Elaine, but the character looks on paper kind of cool. Alright, so there are two new relics. Firstly is Small Wing King, because there's little here, which I assume is Small Wing King. And is, if the character, I assume it attacks, if you deal damage to an enemy, then you apply bleed for 1 turn. That's kind of good, because you really need a Hendrickson with him, because obviously he only does, is it poison? And for his passive to work, you need poison, bleed, or shock, or corrosion. So you need 1 or 2. So typically you have to bring someone else with him. So now, you do an AoE skill, you're applying poison and bleed, so you're at least getting that passive to work with just him alone without bringing Hendrickson. And then that is, I guess, not the worst, kind of what he needs, to be fair. So we'll see how that works out, but they're trying to buff Small Wing King again, which is kind of annoying. And then the new Elaine that's coming out, while all enemies are subject to electric shock debuff, damage is increased by 30%. Is that for just her though? That might just be for her. So that is going really well, I think, with the new one, because literally I think if any fairy just attacks, you get the shock debuff on, which you just saw. So you're getting a 30% damage increase with her passive, right? Yeah, so fairies do an extra 30% damage, and it also applies shock. And also, when you have shock available, you're also doing the extra 30% damage. So you're doing this extra 60% damage. Her ultimate could actually nuke people now, unironically, because you can have that. Then you can have King's buff shield, which gives an extra damage increase, and also the basic stats from Hellbrand alone. Yo, this Elaine can be kind of nasty, you know, in terms of ultimate. Her actual skills, she don't really do damage because it's like a debuff skill. But overall, yo, I'm liking where this is heading. I mean, obviously, it's not great because you have to build up the fairy team like Hellbrim, Small Wing King, and even this Elaine, which is definitely not worth it. But hey, it could work, man. It could work. So yeah, boys, I believe that is it for the characters. So it doesn't look like we're getting anything else new. I think we're getting the Ragnarok bar, so we're getting more outfits, which I'm not actually seeing too much. Then we're getting the 2 relics, which I just went over as well. All right, boys, that's kind of it. I think this new Elaine does look somewhat decent and promising with all the damage increase. It looks like she's getting with the relic, also just her passive, and possibly the actual artifact set as well. It could be actually really good. I'm kind of more curious how she works with the other fairies like Festival King, because I'm seeing King coming on the rise with the festival teams, which well, I guess the fairy teams, but we have to wait and see, man. Other than that, we're finally getting this new Holy War faction war thing, which I'm kind of very curious that's going to work out. Hopefully somewhat decent, man, because I mean, I doubt I'll make a video on it, maybe the first time, but it's I assume we'd be pretty straightforward, but something that's a little bit more competitive, and we'll see how the community reacts to this one. And then other than that, the rewards here, I don't think look too great. Like, if you get, like, 8k, you get 10 diamonds. But it's 3 rewards that we didn't get usually. And then, I guess if you get, what, top 50%, you're getting 20 diamonds. So you're getting 30 diamonds from the looks of it, which is basically a free mode. I guess it's somewhat alright. 1 free mode from the actual, for Elaine, I believe that is it. So boys, let me know. I assume 99% of us are going to skip her because no one really cares about Elaine, nor do we, you know, have diamonds to summon. Literally, we just summon for Diane. If you didn't, then you're probably saving for another better character. But yeah, that is basically it. So boys, thank you for watching, and yeah, peace.